Sup guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you what I think is the best way to invest £1,000 into the stock market in 2021. This is the exact way that has helped me build a stock portfolio worth £40,000 in the past 3 years. So if you are looking to do the same, then hit that like button down below. Let's not waste any more time, let's jump straight into it. Alright, so I know I titled this video with £1,000, but the reality is you can actually do this with any kind of amount. These principles are going to work no matter what, but I wanted a reference point to actually use to show you guys, and £1,000 seemed like a fair number, so that's what we're going to use in this video. And like I did mention at the start of the video, this is the exact way that I like to do things. These ways are going to actually lower your risk when investing into the stock market, but at the same time it's actually going to give you every chance to get those high returns as well. So let's not waffle on anymore. Let's put ourselves in the position that we have £1,000 to invest, and let's start off with step number one. And what we're actually going to want to be doing is taking £500, so 50% of that 1,000 figure, and we're going to be wanting to invest it into an exchange traded fund. Now, if you didn't know what an exchange traded fund, commonly known as an ETF, is, basically what you do when you invest into a single company. Let's say you wanted to invest into Apple, what you would be doing is buying one whole share of that one company. However, with an exchange traded fund, what you are actually doing is buying a collection of stocks within a certain index. For example, one of the popular indexes that you can invest into is the S&P 500, which is basically the top 500 companies in America based on market cap. The ETF that I currently invest into at the moment that covers the S&P 500 is a ticker name called VUSA, and it's actually by a company called Vanguard. And basically right now, at the time of recording this video, it costs around £62 for a share. And if I was to buy one share of that VUSA ETF, instead of just owning one company, what I would actually own is smaller chunks of 500 companies across that index. And as you can probably work out already, this is going to be much safer than investing into one stock, because of course, if you were to invest into one company and that company was to go bust for one reason or another, then you're going to lose all of your money. Whereas if you're investing into 500 companies and one of those companies was to go bust, then you've got 499 other companies to rely on to keep your investment going up. So like I mentioned, 50%, so £500 of my £1,000 investing budget is going to go towards ETFs. Now, these are going to be the absolute backbone of your portfolio, simply because of the low risk and the low costs on actually owning them. But another thing I want to mention as well, you don't actually just have to own one ETF. I've just covered the top 500 companies in America. You also have an ETF that covers the top 100 companies on the London Stock Exchange. This is classed as the FTSE 100. You also have the FTSE 250, which actually covers companies number 101 to 350 on that same exchange. You have so many different options of different ETFs that you can invest into. What I'm actually going to do is throw a video up here or in the description down below of my top 5 Vanguard ETFs that you can invest into. But the moral of the story here is 50% of that £1,000 budget is going to go into an ETF or multiple ETFs. Next up, I'm going to want to be taking 35% of that £1,000 budget, so £350, and I'm going to want to be investing that into individual companies. Now, of course, when it comes to researching companies and deciding what company is good to invest into or not, that deserves its own video itself. And once again, I do have a video that I have made, which I will leave in the description down below. However, there are a quick couple of things that you definitely need to take into consideration no matter what. Number one, do not invest the entire 35% into one company. Number two, you want to be investing a maximum of 5% of that 35% into a single company. So you're going to want to be buying multiple companies over that 35% that you're investing into. And with those multiple companies, number three, you are going to want to be making sure that you get a mix of different stocks in different industries. So maybe a couple in the tech industry, maybe a couple in the hospitality industry, the food industry. You get the point I'm trying to make. What you want to be doing is diversifying your risk across those individual companies. If you wanted to check out the different stocks that I personally invest into, once again, another plug for my own channel, I do have a playlist that I will once again link down below in the description, where I actually share a monthly update in around the middle of every single month of all the different stocks and shares, funds and ETFs that I actually own. Oh, and if you didn't know where to start investing into these ETFs or these individual stocks, then I highly suggest going and checking out Free Trade, which is actually a commission-free trading platform. And if you sign up with the link in my description down below, deposit £1 onto the platform, then we will both actually get a free share worth anything between £3 and £200. So I highly recommend you going to check that out. So moving on, that now leaves us with £150, and I guess the next thing that we have to talk about is crypto. And what I want to really say is you want to be putting a maximum of 10% of that £1,000 into cryptocurrencies. However, before you start loading up on all of these different coins that get pushed to you by certain influencers, that most of them are scams, you are going to want to be focusing on the main ones. In my personal opinion, I like to take the safer side. Pretty much any cryptocurrency is going to be high risk, which is why we're only going to be investing 10% maximum of our portfolio into it. But when we do, we still want to stick to the main coin. So I'm talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, or maybe you can actually go and buy a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency ETF. So just like with the stocks, you can go and buy a basket of different cryptocurrencies to potentially lower your risk a little bit further. Now, like I said, 10% is the absolute max that I personally think that you should be investing into cryptocurrencies, simply just because of how volatile they are. But in my own personal opinion, I personally believe that cryptocurrencies are the technology and currency in some cases for the future. And I personally believe getting exposure into them now is only going to benefit you in the long run. Now, if you feel like 10% is a little bit too much, then all you need to simply do is maybe take 5% off that and add a 5% extra onto your fund or your single stocks allowance. Now, if we do take up that full 10%, that now leaves us with 5% of our £1,000 budget to invest. And what I suggest people doing with that final remaining £50 in this case is actually spending it on personal development, self-learning, or keeping it in cash for potential opportunities, which I'll get to in a second. But realistically, I think you should be spending your money on personal growth. And the reason why I say this is, whilst it is not going to be a direct ROI that you're going to be able to see on an app in form of numbers or currency or anything like that, I have to say investing into my own personal development, so reading books, taking legit online courses, that is, be very careful with them, of course, has really helped me earn more money than any kind of investment that I've ever made. But sometimes spending £50 on your personal development is simply going to be too much. The second thing that I recommend doing is keeping that money in a cash balance in case there's an opportunity in the future. Now, why do I say this? Well, if you are investing into long-term stocks with great companies, which everyone should be doing, by the way, there will be opportunities in the stock market where those companies will drop in price significantly, giving you a really good buying opportunity. Now, if £1,000 is our budget every single month or maybe every single couple of months, and we use that entire allocation up, when those drops come into play, we're going to have no money to take advantage of those offers. What we like to call them as investors is our stocks going on sale, where we can actually pick those stocks up at a cheaper price. And because we're holding it for the long term, we're not worried that it drops in price, because we know over a long period of time our company is likely to go up in the future. So what I like to say is keep a little bit of cash aside, if you haven't got any set aside already, to take advantage of those opportunities. And once you have spent that final 5%, that would be £1,000 that you have invested into the stock market, the crypto market for a little bit, and a little bit of self-development as well, just to increase your knowledge about money and personal finance. Now, I hope you found this video valuable. This is the exact method that I personally use when it comes to investing my money. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're investing £1,000. It was just the example I used in this video. Even if you invested £100, you can still break things up in this way and it will work perfectly fine. But having said all that, leave us a like if you did find it useful. Leave us a comment down below as well with the strategy that you like to take, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.